Today, we're talking about EAFC26, with a particular focus on whether the Nintendo Switch 2 version is worth your time and money. We also discuss Hades 2, Steven's Gears of War Reloaded review, and what has Andy been playing? Let's discuss all this and more on the Late Night Gamer podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 64 of the Late Night Gamer podcast, your place for late night laughs, hot takes, and video game reviews. I'm your host, Welchy, and joining me tonight are Mr. Pop Figures himself, Andy.
Hello guys, pleasure to be back.
And our resident horror expert, Steven.
Yes, guys, it's always great to be here and looking forward to giving more takes on the games we're playing at the moment. And if Andy's been playing a surprise game that I don't know about, then I'm very curious to know.
I would like keeping a surprise for at least one of you on this podcast every week if we can. We've got a lot to talk about, but just quickly, how you both been? Steven, how was Oasis?
I will have to say it was by far the best concert I have ever been to, and I can't stress that enough. I don't think the videos that I captured, and there was one on my TikTok right now, doesn't kind of even begin to tell you how great it was. I've never been at Wembley before that was so loud that I just at times everything was going off in all different directions. There was like crowd moshing at one point, which I wasn't particularly a massive fan of, but I didn't think that would be joining me at Oasis.
Was you standing?
Yeah, so we weren't at the very front, unfortunately. There was a massive queue for the front standing, but where we got to, we were like 3 rows away from the front barrier, separating people at the very front, and then where we were, which was unfortunate because we were on our feet from about 4:30 till like 10:15. So it was painfully achy but at the same point, it was just so worth it. Just seeing Noah and Liam, and I said this to Chloe because she's like, "Oh, it can't have been better than Ray." And I said, "Like, Ray's very talented, right? But let's be clear, this is the best concert that I've ever been to. They're all really, really talented, but just when you see them live on how they perform their instruments and their vocal range, and just seeing Noah and Liam together, I've seen Noel separately, not Liam. It was just like a monumental moment to the point where I'm like." I'm trying to process it.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel real that I was there. But yeah, I mean, I hardly had any voice yesterday. My Analyze Arsenal video, you could hear that my voice is going because not only was I singing my heart out with Oasis to see them what Arsenal put me through yesterday, I was like, I'm gonna like wake up to more like today and not have any voice to record. Luckily, it's come back. But yeah, incredible. A real moment that I'm still processing.
Good, I'm glad. Obviously, yeah, I agree. Like when you make a video of a concert, I've got loads on my phone. You think you're gonna go back and watch it, and you do, and you're like, that's not what it was like. It's not quite
No.
captured. But Andy, how you been? We
Yeah,
spoke
yeah,
yesterday,
I've been good.
obviously. But
Yeah, no, yeah, busy, sort of chilled weekend. Obviously, Cinema Friday, Strange 2, which I spoke about. It was my niece's birthday on Saturday. Well, it was technically today, but that's throwing a kids'
yeah,
party on Saturday, so I went there with Beth, and then and then stayed around Beth's mum's. Got takeaway, watched football, crappy movies, sort of chilled weekend. It was quite nice.
don't have to call Sinister crap, Andy. That's a bit harsh. Um, that's a little
Whoa.
tease for Stephen.
Yeah,
Cool.
come on.
Well, we've got a lot to talk about today, a lot of different games. So let's get into our housekeeping first. Of course, this is the Late Night Gamer podcast. We drop 2 episodes every week, typically on a Wednesday and a Friday, although next week will be Tuesday and Thursday. That's a one-off. If you enjoy the podcast, please do consider following or subscribing on your favorite podcast service and also leave a rating, as that really helps support the podcast. You can follow us on all major socials with the handle at the LNG Pod, and you can join our Discord using the link in the podcast description if you want to chat movies, TV shows, and video games. If you're listening or watching on Spotify, you can now leave comments on there too. And of course, our podcast is now available on YouTube if that is your platform of choice. Be sure to also check out the LNG Pod on Twitch. Speaking of Twitch, our content schedule for the week beginning 29th of September looks like this. Tuesday, you had our Sinister review on the Late Night Movie Podcast. Wednesday, you had our favourite video game levels on the Late Night Gamer Podcast, which is a good conversation. Thursday, you had our Alien Earth review, as well as our I Swear and Strangers Chapter 2 review. And on Friday, you're getting this episode, which is focused on EAFC, but talking about a lot of different games. In terms of Twitch streams, I'll be streaming, I would have already streamed by the time you listen to this, Ghost of Yote on Thursday on release day, and I'll also be streaming it on Friday and Sunday this week. Very exciting. Finally, we are sponsored by Dubby Energy Drinks. If you want an energy drink for your long gaming sessions, then you can get a 10% discount on Dubby products by using the code TheLNGPod at checkout. That's TheLNGPod for a 10% discount. I don't have a rotation segment. I mean, I do, but we've got so much to talk about that I just want to kind of skip over it this week, and I'll bring that one back next week. So let's go straight into essentially what we've been playing, but there's a bit of a focus here on a few certain games. Let's start with EAFC. Obviously, it's been out a week now, just a week. Well, actually, it's not.
By the time this podcast came out on Friday.
Yeah, by the time this podcast comes out, it's been out a week. For you guys, you've been playing it around a week and a half because of the early access stuff or whatever. But the official release was Friday the 26th? 7th?
26th September,
Yeah, that's right.
Which is when I picked it up. I was playing a game called Hades 2, which I'll talk about in a minute, on Thursday, which was released on Thursday. I was playing it Thursday night. I was planning to go to bed, and I've got to about 12:05, and I was like, okay, that's enough Hades. I was like, yeah, EAFC might be ready for me to play. Played it, turned it on, I was like, oh shit, it's ready. I've got to play it now. I've got to stay up till 1 o'clock. So I've been playing it. I've played about, I want to say 11 to 12 hours in a short space of time from Friday to, I barely played it today, so really Friday to Monday, which is a fair bit. The benefit is it's handheld for me. So I took it to my parents over the weekend when I took the kids there. And I can take it wherever I want. I will probably take it on the train tomorrow because I don't think there's anything we have to watch this week for the podcast. So that's one benefit.
Parents on babysitting duty. Sorry, I was saying.
No, I played it when the kids were in bed. They stayed.
Okay, imagine.
We stayed the night, and when they were in bed, my dad was watching the Ryder Cup, which I liked, and I watched it while it was on. But it's the kind of sport where I can happily play something and kind of
you don't have to
so I was playing it a fair bit then. Obviously, I want to get your guys' thoughts on the PS5 version, but I did want to have a focus on the Switch too, because I think we all kind of know now what we're getting on PS5, Series X, whatever. The Switch has been famously bad for EAFC, or FIFA, it was originally. I bought FIFA 17, which is the first FIFA on the Switch, and I had a good time with it because I had a handheld FIFA where I could play career mode on the train. And I enjoyed that for what it was, but then FIFA 18 come along and it was very apparent that nothing changed. Like, they literally just updated the rosters and gave you the game back. And it's like, whoa, this isn't good. And IGN are famous for not every year getting a review copy, every year turning it on, seeing the change, nothing's changed, and just giving it the lowest. Like, I think I might have even been a 1 out of 10, 2 out of 10, whatever it was. They basically admit, we're not playing it. We've seen what it is. This is a score. Until you change what you're doing, you're going to get the score from us every time. Which is good for my IGN, considering how shit they normally are.
Surprising.
They're normally terrible when it comes to reviews, so that is good to know.
So it's a famously bad game, and they continue to release them because they knew some fuckers would still buy the game. I obviously didn't. I wasn't going to touch it until the Switch 2 come around, and the promise of next-gen Switch, maybe it'll be much closer to the PS5 and Series X versions. I am happy to report that it is very, very good. There are issues, though, which I do want to talk about. But essentially, it's the same game. Obviously, I haven't played this one on your PS5, so you two might come and say it's terrible on the PS5, but I'm not expecting that. It's got all the same functions. It has Ultimate Team here. It has everything that you've got. Stephen, you mentioned the live career mode, live seasons you can do. That's here. It's all here, as long as you have internet, obviously. And it has all the same promos, all the Ultimate Team promos. Everything is there. The benefit is the handheld. The downside is that it is not running at 60 frames per second right now. I say right now because that could change. They might update it. But it's running at 30, which, if that is something that will really bother you, then avoid this game, because it is 30 frames per second right now. There's no change in that. Apparently, EAFC have put out a statement saying they know there's they know that they can do better, or whatever they said. I can't remember the exact words, but they might make improvements to the performance or the visuals at some point. If that is frame rate, I think this game will then just become the same game, just with slightly less fidelity, which I don't think people really care about on EAFC. But if it plays the same, I don't think people are going to really care that much about how their favorite footballer looks on this game.
Yeah.
But for now, it's 30. So if that really bothers you, then avoid it. For me, it doesn't bother me. It would put you at a disadvantage if this was crossplay, because it would feel so different to what you guys are playing. If I was playing you from my console to yours, it would feel massively different. But there's no crossplay. And I think the reason they haven't done crossplay is for this reason, mostly. Just because it is a different experience. The other downside for there being no crossplay is that Ultimate Team has like 20,000 transfers at a time, like live transfers, and I think you guys have like millions at a time, or like 100,000.
It's always in the millions.
So having 28,000 is tough, or whatever it was earlier when I saw it. But I'm not here for Ultimate Team. I dabbled in it. I showed you my team. It's shocking. I will play a few. What do you call it? The friendly matches.
Do you find matches okay?
I've not played
Have
online.
you tried playing online?
No, I've not played online yet, which is one thing I
Well, you
can't
do
review. Oh, I have.
Yeah.
I have
Did
played
you
online.
squad?
I played Rush.
Okay.
Because obviously the issue you had with NBA is that it was difficult to even find a game to begin with.
Yeah, no, this is much better.
I think FIFA's,
It's a much more
Obviously,
popular
I
game worldwide, obviously.
yeah.
And obviously, I'm guessing I'm on European servers. If I'm on European servers on NBA, then I'm really fucked, because I've narrowed my pool even more. Which actually is a thing. Maybe I could change that. But anyway, yeah, I found players on Rush relatively easy. I think sometimes it took a minute or two. It might be like instant on obviously your ones, but
Yeah.
I played like 3 or 4 matches of Rush, and enjoyed it. And there was no connection issues. It worked. It's perfectly smooth. It was fun. And I actually was surprised how much I liked Rush, actually, I must say.
Yeah.
I can imagine that being a lot better on the Switch, actually, because obviously it's got that FIFA Street 5 in terms of 5 against 5.
Yeah.
Smaller pitches, definitely funner on a handheld console.
I know obviously it's slightly different because it's PlayStation Portal, but Rush on the PlayStation Portal was a lot of fun when I was playing it on EAFC24 last year, or 25 actually, not 24. So yeah, it is because it's smaller, it's more condensed.
Yeah.
You also mentioned with Ultimate Team, so you can dabble in squad battles, I'm assuming, at some point.
That's what I've been dabbling in. And it works fine. Everything's fine. It's just it hasn't got the player count, and it won't have the transfer count for that reason. And it's not my main focus. But again, if there's someone out there who's got a Switch 2 thinking about buying it, but their main focus is Ultimate Team, you may want to consider that the transfer market is going to be completely different in terms of prices. All the players are going to be much more expensive because there's less of them, blah, blah, blah. And it will be hard to find players. There was I searched for Saka and there was like 1 on the market.
Yeah,
So,
that's crazy.
Yeah, stuff like that. There might be more by now. When I searched, there was 1.
When you're playing against like the AI Welchy, what like difficulty are you playing on, and how are you actually finding the gameplay itself?
The gameplay is fine. I mean, the 30 frames per second might be noticeable for a lot of people, but I don't think I'm noticing it. I'm enjoying it. It's absolutely fine for me. Difficulty, I'm playing on professional, and I think I need to go up because what was I doing earlier? I think it was squad battles. Oh yeah, I won 2 easily. It might have been because I was playing against one of the shit squad battle teams, but I might go up a level. But Ultimate Team I want to move away from. Career mode is perfectly fine, works really well. I've had a few issues, and I have sent you this in the Discord, so anyone in Discord has seen this, but more than once, and I want to know if this happens on PS5, I've had it where the game, someone will take a goal kick, and then all of a sudden I noticed that there's like 5 people who are like, like in the cutscenes in between half time and stuff, they're like in the middle of the pitch in their bibs doing like the warm-ups.
Oh yeah.
They're just standing there. They're not moving at all, but they're just 5 people standing on the middle of the pitch. I'm like, well, that's confusing me. Like, am I offside or not?
Yeah. They're not meant to be there.
Yeah, not meant to be there at all. And it's not just happened that one time. It happens, I don't want to say every match, but very often.
Was it just a visual glitch, did you say? Or if the ball hit them, does it bounce off them?
I haven't noticed it hit them. I don't know if that's just coincidence, but I think it's just visual.
Yeah.
and it does go. Like the next time the ball
Okay.
goes out, and then it's like another goal kick, it will go. So it's not a permanent. It's not permanently 5 random people on the pitch,
Yeah.
but it's just one of those things you notice it. And it might just be not always
Yeah.
5. It could be one person. It could be 2. It could be different parts of the pitch. It's just a noticeable thing. But it should raise that for anyone who gets annoyed by that kind of thing. But other than that, career mode is just career mode. There's nothing much to say on it. I think as a general game, which it will apply to used as well, the interviews are fucking shit in this game. Like there's just the same 4 responses every time, and I hate it. I think it's so stupidly boring.
What it just is, it's to raise your like morale for players. So like if you give them like positive answers, they then become complacent. But to be honest, they've had that now for 3 years in career mode, and I don't think your players being complacent has any bearing on the actual game
if you
itself.
sim the matches, maybe, but I doubt it. I genuinely think it's pretty pointless. They do a bit of this in NBA, and I think it works a bit better. Not massively better. I think all these games are struggling to do this interview thing. I get the idea. I get why they want to do it, but it's not been executed well here.
They said like in the career mode deep dive that they were going to make interviews more like diverse and more specific, and I was like, that's great, but they haven't. What they were talking about was the unexplained or unexpected events that crop in. Which have you got that on, Welchy? Have you had any?
I've turned it on. I haven't had any yet. I'm in my Arsenal career. I am about to play Newcastle, so I'm basically as we are today in real life. So I've not got that far. But I've not noticed that yet. No, I'm interested in that. But if Gyökeres randomly retires, I'm gonna be fucking livid. Because that's not what I want to play this game for.
Is that what I think I saw something on that earlier then, or I don't know if it was made up or like a meme, but it was like one of the players, their partner was pregnant or something, so they asked to miss a game or something like that.
Yeah, that's one of the unexpected sort of events that can happen. So funny enough, actually, I am on our Champions League game that we're going to play on Wednesday.
So
that's my next game.
Me,
So I'm one ahead, and I've had one unexpected event. David Wright in training sustained a serious injury, and he broke his nose. So he therefore missed the next game.
Before, didn't he?
Yeah, which was a Carabao Cup game against I had Nottingham Forest, so it didn't matter because I was going to have Kepa in goal anyway. But he was out for 4 days with a broken nose, so he then went straight back into the lineup against Newcastle.
I don't mind that kind of stuff because that is relatively realistic.
But then I was thinking, does it take 4 days before if you break your nose?
Well, you wear a mask, that's what they do nowadays. But keepers is harder, I guess. But
what would have been really cool is that if he had actually like a mask on, but then Ryan's nose in the game looked absolutely fine. I've seen other ones where one of the YouTubers who I watched their Arsenal career mode, they had one where their transfer budget that they had to spend by the end of the season because next season they'd have no money. They wouldn't be able to buy a single player. So then in January, they're going to have to basically do their summer plans in the January transfer window. So that's the other one that I've seen. There's also settings, so some people you can turn it on to like extreme. I did mine sort of in the middle because I didn't want it to ruin the career mode, because once you set it, you then can't go back and change it. It's set in stone. So I went from like the recommended one that they put in the actual settings, but I'm curious to see what other ones are going to be mentioned. If they say, oh, Gyökeres is no longer playing anymore, I'm going to be fucking livid. Don't want that.
The one thing I do want to talk about is player career. So I started a player career. I made my son as a player. I thought, all these years I've made myself, why not make my son? And we're playing for Millwall. He's playing for Millwall.
Oh god.
Being my girlfriend's team.
I
don't want to all of a sudden put him straight in the top league. I want him to progress. Anyway, long story.
Yeah.
I don't know if you two have played player career in recent years, so it might be something that's been in there for a couple of years, but there's now an agent. You have an agent. And like the interviews, it is the most pointless, useless shit in a game. Like it is honestly stupid. I can't give many examples off the top of my head, but every time you do well in a match, say I scored a hat-trick against someone, and then you tweet at the end of the game now, instead of like having interviews in the player career, you tweet a message, and you got the 3 personality types. I don't mind all that stuff, fine. You either get cocky and say like, oh, this is just a beginning or something like that, or you say, oh, this is all thanks to my teammates, and then there's like another one. I can't remember what the other one is, but And then every time he'll say, after you send that tweet, you'll be like, oh, that was a great tweet, great job, kind of thing. And I'm like,
Yeah,
right, fuck
just
off.
repetitive dialogue.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And the whole point
Yeah.
is that he's supposed to get you these new contracts, and you're supposed to say, oh, my aim is to get to that team. That's where I want to go next. And it gives you things you have to tick off to do. So I've picked Brighton
Yeah.
because I think that's a good stepping stone club from Millwall to Brighton to eventually
Definitely.
get to a
Yeah.
top team. No disrespect to Brighton. And it's listed my things there. That's fine. But that's all they need to do. I don't need this shitty agent who messages me after every game with the most boring text.
Yeah.
It's a weird nitpick, but it's just not needed. It's just so annoying. And the thing is, it's a notification, so I have to click on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It reminds me, well, the last one I did the play career was actually FIFA 12. I always normally stick to manager career, but it reminds me when you were speaking of like the journey in like FIFA 17, 18, 19,
Yes.
where you would have like 3 distinct answers when you were like Alexander,
Yeah.
where you could either be fiery, defensive,
Yeah.
or just neutral. And you were like, oh, that's quite cool to begin with. And then it was just so pointless because whatever one you picked made no bearing on actually the story. There was a couple of cutscenes where you would get told off if you were too cocky, but it would just be the exact same cutscene over and over again. Or like if you had a bad performance as Alexander, you'd be called in and given a rollicking. But that wears off after like 5 minutes.
It starts getting too repetitive. It's the same, like, I don't play too much career mode these days or too much FIFA. But in career mode, like when you're signing a new player and you go into that whole meeting thing, like having to do that every time, I don't know if you can skip it now. But obviously
you can delegate.
You can delegate it.
Yeah, so you can delegate.
I like being
contract,
in charge of the contract bit, though. I like doing it. I just don't like the cutscene.
Yeah.
The problem with that is that if you delegate, you have to wait like maybe a week before it actually like gets signed.
Yeah.
Where if you do it there and then, once the contract is signed, the player then comes to you. But also, you get another cutscene which introduces the player like he's running on the treadmill.
Yeah.
Or shaking hands with the manager. And I remember the first time I ever saw that, I was like, that's really cool. But after like the 8th time, they just need to like do different ones. They've got the ability to record like a set of scenarios and just to tweak it ever so slightly.
I'd still skip them. I would still skip them.
Yeah, true.
So would I.
I think there should be an option to turn it off. I think it would solve it because maybe there are people that do like that. But I'm sure they must have the data somewhere where they can see when people are skipping shit, and it's always these cutscenes. Like
the only bit that I like is when the new player stands next to you as a manager, and then it shows you what kit number they've got. And then my OCD is like, you think I've signed Eze in my last career mode last year. Like basically whatever we signed, I then signed in the career mode that I was playing, and they had Eze as like number 13, and I was like, no, we're going back to number 10 now, ladies and gentlemen. But that's just a personal thing for me. But that's the only bit of the cutscene that I like. The rest of it is like pointless as shit, really.
Yeah. That's my main bugbears. Overall, obviously, the interviews and the shitty not scout agent stuff. They're nitpicky things, and they're not really about the gameplay. They're not really what people are here to hear about. As a Nintendo Switch owner, I can say that I have spent my money well, and I will get a lot of time out of this game because I don't mind the 30 frames. That's the big thing here. If 30 frames is a massive, massive issue for you, and you are the type of person that notices it, particularly say if you've already got it on PS5 and you're thinking of having it on Switch 2 as well, going between them will probably feel a difference. You probably will. If that's going to piss you off, I wouldn't recommend it yet. If they update it, then great. I think it will just wait till next year because I don't think Nintendo gave them enough time with the console to make it that way. If you can look past the 30 frames, and if Ultimate Team's not the be-all and end-all for you, and you just want to play a career mode on the train, then this will be perfect because it's so much better than the old Switch games. It's essentially the same, just slightly less frames or half the less frames. But for me, perfect. I can see myself. I've already got plans of what I'm going to do with my career modes. When I finish my Arsenal one, when I'm bored of my Arsenal one, I'll do a different one. And the player career, I plan on getting my son to retirement age, maybe. I don't know. But I can see myself playing it a lot. And I think it's been a good investment. But for you two, are you the same on PS5? Obviously, Stephen, you love it every year. Andy, you say you're not going to play it, then you do play it, then you stop playing it. What is the kind of I guess, early thoughts, because it's only been out really a week and a half.
So I guess I'll go first. I'll say my initial thoughts. Obviously, so I didn't buy it. Obviously, my friend picked it up, which means I can then play it 'cause we game share, pick up a game each usually. Initially, I did sort of say that I wasn't going to play it just because with FIFA, I do find over recent years,
Yeah,
and oh, sorry, EAFC now, that, and I find this with quite a lot of games, especially multiplayer games now. So this is probably why I'm sort of dabbling more in sort of career campaign games. But you usually have to play that game and play that game only to keep up with the grind and sort of the power curve and stuff. And I know they've said with this particular game that they're going to try and slow down the power curve and take the focus away from that. But my initial thoughts are already is how quickly people who have early access have been able to build incredible teams before the full release of the game. So it's like, how can you build teams that quickly when they're trying to slow the power curve? And obviously, I get streamers; they obviously spend a lot of money on packs and stuff, on FIFA points. But I still think there's a massive, there's too much of a gap there. Like for me, I'm already getting bored, and I've barely played it, and I think part of the reason for that as well is it just feels too much of the same. Even though the gameplay does feel different, it still feels very much the same every time that you jump on. You obviously, my main focus is usually Ultimate Team. That's what I usually enjoy playing. Don't really touch career mode too much. If I do play career mode, I do it as like a football manager type style where I do sim all the games and stuff, and don't actually play it through. But yeah, in terms of the Ultimate Team, I just don't think it's improved enough over the last 4 or 5 years, or like improved at all. There's always slight differences in the gameplay, and with this one to begin with, it does feel like the defense is a lot harder to control manually. I'm seeing this with streamers, pros, sort of friends. Most of the games are high scoring games, and then within the first patch, they did say in the first patch that they're going to change and improve the defensive shape. So that's what I mean with like FIFA, is that you buy in the game, but you're not actually buying the game that it's going to end up being. So it's like you could buy it, enjoy it, get used to it. All of a sudden, a patch comes out that completely changes the way that the mechanics work, and you've then got to relearn how to play it. And I don't really want that in a game. Like I want a game to be sort of ready to play, and it stays that way, and they don't change the gameplay as such, because I feel like they do that with every single EAFC game now. After the first few weeks, they do a patch and it completely changes the way that you play it. And even when I'm playing well, enjoying it, it's still like, it just annoys me really. So I don't think I'm going to be playing it for much longer. Obviously, I only said I was going to give it a go anyway between sort of this and before Ghost of Yote comes out. But yeah, my initial thoughts are it's going to sort of be, not a fun game for me anymore. And I've got like, I haven't even spent all my coins. I've got 240k coins. And I don't even want to buy any sort of gold players because the market, EA always make mistakes that messes up the market and stuff, and players already like dropping like crazy. So there's no point me going out buying Saliba or a gold centre back who I would prefer in my team for 70k coins, when in a week they're going to drop down to 20k and I've lost out on 50k coins. So it's just, and that's all because of like EA not being able to control the market as good as they could. And that's because of like things like promo packs. They've said they weren't going to release promo packs. There's already loads of promo packs out. Or like the first thing they released on day one of sort of early access or near it anyway was 100k packs. You could buy two tradable 100k packs, and everyone sort of looked in the store thinking, why the fuck can we buy these packs already after everything that they've said? So I just don't feel like they ever stick to their word, and that's the other issue, is the trust with EA.
We've just been bought out by a Saudi company, or Saudi Arabia themselves, which is going to make this 10 times worse, by the way. But Stephen, are you more positive than Andy?
Probably.
I am more positive. Yeah, no, I am more positive. I do, though, understanding everything that Andy has said, and I always get super annoyed that I really enjoy the game when it comes out. They do a patch, and then I have to spend ages then relearning the game. So during early access, I played actually Manager Career and then online seasons during early access. I waited for the game to come out on Friday, and I mean, I am the same. I literally put points on, and that's the reason why I've got the team that I've got now. I know that, like, I know Andy, like, you always start, and you do Ultimate Team in the proper way that it should be. I not cheat, but I just whack points on and then make coins, and then from that I'll then build my team and then do like the SBCs, do division rivals, foot champs, that kind of stuff. I absolutely had the same in online seasons. Like, every game was high scoring. So like, there was a game where I think it finished 9-8 to my opponent, and it was insane. As I've like been playing it, I have started to understand the mechanics. So like, I think I said to you guys last week that I played the first game I played was Arsenal against Sunderland, just to test it out. I tested it out on World Class to see what it was like, and I got absolutely rinsed by Sunderland. Like, the AI absolutely like destroyed me. I then played West Ham, and it was one of those games where it says like, we'll tell you what difficulty you should be, started in World Class, then got 2 up against West Ham. They bumped it to Legendary, and I still like dominated the game. So it's like, maybe I'm better than what I think. Then I played like Leeds in my Arsenal career mode. I'm Man United. Man United game finished 4-3. The AI scored 3 times in 2 minutes. It was unbelievable. And the Leeds game got absolutely wiped. I then lowered it to professional for our Liverpool game, 1-5-2. Then I thought professional was too easy. And then I played World Class. And then our basically run of games in September, which were quite challenging, I've won all of them on World Class mode. And I'm now starting to like pick up the defense and the way of the mechanics. And in Ultimate Team, I mean, I got very, very lucky. I opened one of those 100k packs, and I got an icon straight away. Literally, that's the first card that I packed, and that was 275k on Hernandez. When I then opened the rest of my points, I got McManaman, so I basically made 450,000 coins. So I've got a pretty decent team. I'm near at the end of Division 8, and for the first time, I think, ever in an EAFC game, I've literally won every single game in division rivals that I've played. Like, I've not lost. I played one game in the draft, and the draft's always, I don't know if you agree with Andy, I always find the draft really, really sweaty. I tested it out in early access.
I haven't played draft yet, but I usually find drafts and tournaments easier. But that's because I'm also in a higher division than you. So obviously, when I started the game, it put me in Division 7, which is the division that anyone that was in like the elite division on the old game would be put into.
Yeah.
So straight away, the games that I'm finding before I even opened any packs, I'm sort of using a starter team. I'm coming up against sort of streamers who have sort of the best Premier League team or the best the league of players, whatever league they're using. And it's like, why can't there should be a way that it can match you up against people that haven't spent put points on the game, because especially when it matches you up in the same division. I obviously didn't play the last, like, I obviously got to elite and then didn't play that FIFA for however many months, so I was already rusty anyway. And then jumping into a new game, getting matched up against streamers or people that have spent a lot of money on it, built their team properly, and first game is completely mismatch, and it's like, there must be a better way for them to be able to match up people that have lower gold sort of rated teams, instead of matching them, even though obviously that sometimes you'll still beat them, but sometimes it can be pay to win in those scenarios, and it's like they should find a way to better match you up against opponents that haven't spent any points, so then the teams are going to be fair at least.
Yeah, I mean, it put me in 9, so I think because I either finished in 7 or 6 in EAFC25. I did play actually a lot of division rivals, to be fair. I played probably maybe 150 games, but obviously, I mean, Andy's much better at EAFC than I am. I've always maintained that I'm good at scoring goals. I just struggle with defending. But as and the teams that I've come up against, I have had a spirit team. I mean, I've got Yulcarez, who is outrageous on EAFC. Like, he's good in my career mode being Ultimate Team. Like, he just carries the ball, and the amount of times that I just get past my opponent and score with ease. But the gameplay feels really, really nice. But my first game, I won 12-6. I then won 11-5. Then I won 10-3. So still, like, incredibly high scoring games that I'm finding at the moment. But I think that because my team is really good at this stage, that's the reason why I haven't lost the game. I think if I had like the standard team that I was coming up against, it would be more sort of balanced. I mean, I don't think I've had like an EAFC where I started and had like nearly 500k to then play with. I just got incredibly lucky with the packs that I then opened. But I'm starting to get used to defending. I just know that in a few weeks' time, when the patch comes along, it's going to ruin all of that. But generally, I'm having a lot of fun. I'm about 16 hours into the game. The only other visual glitch that isn't in Ultimate Team, but it's really annoying me in seasons, when you score a goal, it will come up saying like the player and then shots and goals. And like in all of my season games, I only scored one goal with Mbappe, and it said shots 1, goals 8 in the game, and I'm 1-0 up. And I know it's like really small, but that visual glitch is in every online seasons game. It's not in career mode, and it's not in Ultimate Team, and it's like, why? Why have we got that in online seasons?
That's
Online
not.
seasons.
Oh, wait. Is it career mode, you say?
No, it was in online seasons. So the week of early access, I was basically Real Madrid, and I
Oh,
was coming
sorry.
up against. I was coming up against like Barcelona. I started with Arsenal, and it paired me up Arsenal, Real Madrid, and I was 3-0 down inside 15 minutes because obviously the same ratings. But I'm like, Arsenal against Real Madrid in EAFC. Real Madrid's team is absolutely disgusting. So as soon as I got wiped by that, I was like, that's the team that I'm going to be. But yeah, just I'm going to try out squad battles. I feel like world class is where I am, but the difficulty does tend to change a lot, and that's another thing that annoys me. It doesn't feel consistent.
Mhm.
And I'm just terrified of the patch because I've had games before where I played really well to start, they've patched it, and then I go on like a 10 losing streak because the game feels completely different. I think when you get, I don't know if you agree with this, Andy, when you get the passing right, it feels brilliant. Like the passing last year wasn't great across the board, but like there was moves where like Odegaard plays it into like Gyökeres or into Mbomo, and when you get it right, it feels electric. But
Yeah,
it needs to remain consistent on that.
the passing is a lot better on this game, and the dribbling, but almost too good that it makes it really hard to defend.
Yeah,
Because players will be dribbling unrealistically, and if you just literally turn on a stream and watch a pro play this game, it's like you won't even be able to touch them, get anywhere
yeah,
near them, because you press circle to dive into a tackle, your shape's completely ruined.
yeah,
The defenders dive out. You can't. The switching seems bad on this game at the moment in terms of being able to get hold of your midfielders. It's usually worse on co-op. I haven't noticed any bugs personally myself yet. Although there was one when we was playing. I was playing co-op with a friend, and on their screen something happened where it put their camera angle as like the manager's area with the subs. So while I was playing, they was then having to use the mini map to try and figure out sort of where
yeah.
they was and to pass me while their screens on the managers and the subs. So that's the only bug that I've obviously experienced, not obviously not personally, but in the same game. So yeah, it's how can they keep releasing these games with bugs?
No, I know.
It's just annoying.
And it's like having bugs like 4 days in. I know we also need to like move on. But I just want to also mention, I don't know if you've noticed as well, Welchy, that I have to give a special shout out to Martin Odegaard. Not personally, but I've got him obviously in my manager career for Arsenal, but I've got him in the Ultimate Team. And there is something about Odegaard this year where he is absolutely insane, like on both career mode and Ultimate Team. His passing and dribbling, I just think is incredible. There's so many times that I get the ball with Odegaard and I just dart into space. And if I've got Gyökeres like pin away, and I think that's what you said, Danny, earlier, like it is way too easy. If I'm in space with Gyökeres, I'm scoring. Like, I haven't come up against anybody. Obviously, the high divisions, I might come up against. I'm going to come up against better people that might be able to defend. But because he's so strong and quick, and I've got a chem style that boosts his passing and dribbling, he's like hard levels in terms of just like when I'm playing with him, I'm like, I wish you were like this in real life. You okay? Because if you were, we'd be absolutely cooking. But like he's about 250k, but he is worth that at this moment. I know the price will drop just because he's a bit of a cheat code at this moment in time. And I've seen other people talk about it when they come up against Gyökeres. They're like, fuck this. And I haven't come up against him yet, but I'm terrified because I know how good he is from what I'm doing. And I'm a bang average FC player. I'm nothing special when it comes to it, and I'm like destroying people using him. So I'm scared when a good player has him and they come up against me because it will not be probably a pleasant experience.
Yeah, I mean, if only Odegaard was that good in real life as well, that'd be nice
Yeah.
as well. We do need to move on, but obviously that was a good talk and chat about EAFC. Andy, go on, tell us what you've
Yes.
been playing.
So there's a game that I've started playing, and it was perfect timing really because I played the first game, and then I've been waiting for this game to come to the PlayStation catalog so I could pick up for free. And with the announcement at MCM with Troy Baker coming and also doing a live concert, I
You're
decided
playing
to
Last
start.
of Us Part 2.
I've started playing Last of Us Part 2. So
Finally.
I've started it today. I've set myself a challenge to complete The Last of Us Part 2 and also go to Yote next month, obviously before Comic Con. And
Ooh.
yeah, it's obviously I've watched the TV show, so I know certain things that are going to happen. So obviously it won't be as much of a shock when certain things happen in the game. But I've really enjoyed the way it started. There's certain things that I've forgotten in the TV show anyway, and there's also certain things like because I remember you guys asking me the question like, would you rather play the game first and watch the show, or watch the show first and play the game? And obviously it's you won't know which one you prefer because you literally can't do both of them.
Yeah.
But what I noticed when I was playing the game, you have that supermarket scene where obviously you go traveling out with Dina, and you're controlling Ellie at that point, and you fall through the floor. And so I knew I was getting to that part, and I was assuming it was going to happen. And I remember watching it in the TV show where you fall through the floor, you're on your own, and then you have that, I don't know what, I can't remember what they're called, but like the stalker sort of, the clever sort of
Yeah, the stalkers.
zombie.
Yeah, they're called stalkers.
Stalkers, okay.
Yeah.
So I was approaching that part in the game thinking, oh man, I'm going to be coming up against one of those stalkers soon. Like I was dreading it. I was like thinking, fuck this, man, I'm going to hate this bit. It happens, I fall through the floor, and the first thing that I notice is Dina falls down with me. I was like, okay, I've got backup with me, I'm happy. And then there's no stalker in that bit, so I was like, okay, so that's different to the game show, to the
Yeah.
TV show. But like the way that, so I at this moment in time, I'm thinking, oh, maybe it is a good thing I watch the TV show first because it's already adding that extra level of intensity for me, because I'm thinking, shit, this is what I'm about to come up against, and then it's not there, so I'm like, oh, when's the first scene? When am I going to first come up against these stalkers then? Because it's like, I don't know now. Like, they could jump out at any point. Obviously, I remember another part where they're in it with Jesse in the warehouse area, wherever it was. So I'm thinking, is that going to be the first time I see them in the game? But obviously, you get to control different characters in this one, which is cool. Obviously, I've been Abby for a little bit. I've already jumped, so there was a jump scare where you're controlling her on her, just her. She's gone off on her own from the guy that she was with, and you see all the what are they actually called? The zombies? They don't call them.
They're like infected.
Infected.
Oh, infected. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Infected.
it's part where all the infected are like buried in the snow. And obviously from the TV show, I'm thinking like, oh fuck, are they all going to wake up at some point while I'm walking down there? Is there going to be like an avalanche? What's going to happen? But there's a bit where there's like a closed gap that you have to squeeze through, and then there's just a frozen walker infected there. And I was thinking, fuck's sake. And you get past that bit, and then you do get, well, as you get to the end part, something an infected jumps out on you, and that literally made me jump. Or it like, you fall over and it grabs your foot or something, and I was like, fuck's sake, it literally made me jump. But because obviously I've seen the TV show. Yeah.
Well, as I say, I feel like you could be the only person in the world that I know that actually jumps at The Last of Us. Like, if you play some of the other horror games, Andy, oh my god, if you're jumping at Last of Us, you're in for a fright.
That's literally a jump scare. It's literally, it tries to make you jump at that point. So I can imagine there's probably a lot of people that jump to that part. But yeah, in terms of sort of, I think I quite like that I've watched the TV show first, and because there's certain parts I've forgotten about the TV show anyway, like in terms of what happened, and don't clarify and remind me because I don't want to know now that I've forgotten. But in terms of like what happened with Jesse's, is it Jesse? Is that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I can't remember what happened with him in the TV show. So I'm thinking like, shit, what happens with him in the game now? So I'm sort of happy that I've forgotten those moments.
Do you know what that says, Andy?
Because
That
then
says that the
obviously,
TV show was shit, like I said it was.
yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't mind it, but I think I sort of remember what happens to him, but honestly, I can't remember if he lives or dies in the TV show. But I'm happy that I've forgotten.
Yeah.
So then obviously when it comes to the game and what happens in the game, I'll be shocked and surprised by whatever does happen. But
Interesting
yeah,
to see if you playing the game is going to like how it's going to make you feel, because obviously you have a rough understanding from watching the TV show. But it'd be interesting
yeah,
because then we can ask a question of comparing about, like, for both me and Welchy, the game hits so much fucking harder than the TV
You might
show
have to rewatch
in so
season
many
2 to
different
get that
ways.
comparison because you actually
Yeah,
said
you
you've
might have
forgotten
to.
it also.
Yeah,
yeah,
you might
yeah.
have to then rewatch, but it's great. Well, the other thing I'll say is I'm so happy that you're finally playing part two, because there was part of me thinking it would be a travesty if you meet in Troy Baker and you've not even played Last of Us Part Two. So you've got to get that done before Comic Con. Like,
Well,
just sure.
obviously, um,
He's a bigger
obviously
part in
based on the
part 1.
TV show. Yeah, I've
True.
obviously played the majority of what he's done in the Last of Us
Yeah.
games. Um, yeah, I'm only an hour and a half in so far, so I've played a bit as Ellie, a bit as Abby.
We haven't got to that scene yet.
No, I'll wait. I wasn't sure. I must be getting close to it because I've just switched back to Abby again after the supermarket place
Oh,
bit.
okay. Yeah.
So I feel
Yeah,
like
you're
go
not
into
far away
Joel
from
now
that.
with
No.
Abby. So yeah,
Yeah.
and I'll probably
I
get to
think
that part tomorrow.
I think Last of Us Part Two is about 16 hours, so it is quite lengthy.
I'd say it's
When
a bit
I
longer than
looked
that.
online, it said 20 to 22
Yeah, I was going
hours.
to say it's at least 20.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
long ass game.
I thought it like was about the 70-hour mark, but I must have taken it much longer with that.
It's one of my
Um,
only issues with it is the length. Similar
Yeah,
to when I played Silent Hill 2, actually. But cool. Glad you're playing it, Andy. Excited to keep getting updates.
yeah.
yeah.
Obviously, I will say
I,
once Ghost of Yotei comes out, I will be
Focusing
completing
on
that
that. Yeah,
first.
yeah, yeah.
I just wanted to
yeah.
get a couple of hours in while I've got a bit of free time before that
I
launches.
To be fair, I would say out of the two, yeah, do not touch EAFC. Just focus on Last of Us Part Two, because what a game. I'm jealous that you're actually going and experiencing that. I would
Yep.
have loved to be playing that for the first time again.
Yeah,
I'm jealous,
it's perfect
but
timing.
I'm not jealous that you've watched the show first. Personally,
Yeah,
I know you said you're happy with it, but personally,
yeah.
just because of what I know.
For
I
me,
feel,
it's just all great timing with the MCM announcement with Troy
Yes, yeah,
Baker.
yeah.
They was watching the state of play, and they announced that was one of the main things from that state of play. Last of Us 2 coming to the capital was like buzzing. And then obviously the live concert with Troy Baker playing his favorite songs as Joel from the game, whatever. It's a good time. It's a good time. It's going to be a good month.
Stephen, we've got about 10 minutes left, and I've got to talk about Hades, but I still want to get your Gears of War Reloaded review, your final review of that.
Yeah.
What did you think?
Yeah. So yeah, got the Capitan, which again, like, I've been playing it so many times, so like I remembered more than what I thought as I was going through it. I will say that I've put I've just maybe one big gripe. It doesn't matter so much for you, watch it, because you're playing it with somebody else. The AI is ridiculously dumb in this game. I can't remember if it was that dumb in 2006.
Yeah,
but they literally run into enemies, and when they go down, you have to revive them, and then you normally end up instantly dying yourself.
Don't have to.
Particularly,
you can kill everyone and they automatically revive.
But see, I have had moments where they've died.
Oh, if they they might get executed actually.
Like, and then it fails.
Yeah, true.
It happened when I was fighting the Berserkers, and the worst one was
the Berserker one. You have to, but there's other moments. I'm pretty sure you can just kill everyone else who's left.
Maybe. I just think I was like really worried. So as soon as like one of my teammates went down, I wanted to make sure that I got them up. The one that it really caused problems for me was the actual final boss battle at the very end of the game. However, I did then remember that you actually, as you rightly said, it doesn't matter. You could just focus on killing the boss, and it's not an issue. Because a couple of times I tried to revive like my comrade, which was now you're
Dom.
Yeah, Dom. I was about to say that, but then I was like second guessing myself. So when I actually beat the boss, I just allowed Dom to just stay there basically. I also got killed, which is not really spoiler, but the flying bats, which I forgot about,
The Krill, yeah.
killed me many times. There was also like some real strong horror vibes, like particularly when you head towards like the mines, and I forgot how much horror is influenced in Gears of War. I know obviously that it's the setting and some of the creatures that you're coming up with, but I couldn't remember. And I suppose playing it as an adult now, I'm seeing that and sort of going, well, there's influences from the Thing, or there's influences from X, Y, and Z. And I don't know if you feel, Welchy, that horror is much more
Yeah,
apparent in some of the moments in
Gears
Gears of
is
War than
technically a horror, but not to the kind of Resident Evil level. Gears of War 2
no,
goes into it even more in some stages, and there's a bit in Gears 5 which genuinely scared my good friend JMO.
yeah.
It has moments, I'd say, of horror. It's
Uh,
obviously,
and
first of all, it's a shooter game.
yeah, but I quite like that. There was also a moment where there's like a sequence that plays out like a roller coaster, and I remember as a kid thinking, I wish I was brave enough
Oh
to
yeah.
ride as a child. It's great now that as an adult, I am brave enough to ride, go on these type of rides. So that was nice to see. I also kind of forgot how rude Marcus is towards pretty much everyone throughout the course of the game. Again, as an adult picking it up and seeing it through the lens, I'm like, you are so rude to every single person that you interact with. I didn't really clock that as a kid, but it made me laugh as I was going through it. And I hate the Berserkers so much. I hated them when I played as a kid. I still equally hate them now. They are just annoying,
I love them.
particularly that last. They are. I say they're annoying. I love them because of the challenge, but equally, they're just frustrating. I think also because how bad the AI are,
Yeah,
that's
that's
not a
fair.
good
That's fair.
combination. I think if I was playing with maybe like somebody else, it wouldn't be a
Yeah.
problem. But there was a couple of moments where it made that longer because of how bad the AI was.
I think the
And I
second
suppose the last,
Berserker is the most frustrating one from memory.
yes, yeah. Is that the one towards the end
It's towards
of
the
the?
end. It's
Is
inside
there?
like a garden kind of way, like almost like a
Yeah,
greenhouse thing.
yeah, and that was the one where it took me about 5 attempts because Dom kept going down and getting killed, and I was like, Dom, in a minute, I'm just going to kill you myself and then deal with this berserker. I think the only last bit is that I did the campaign on like the easiest difficulty, and it was an absolute breeze until the very end of the game because that final boss battle, even on easy,
Do you
is
think?
hard. Yeah, it is. I mean, I had to 3 grenades and 18 sniper shots
Ah,
finally
you've
killed
done it
him.
all wrong, Stephen. You have to have the torp bow. The torp bow is the key to that final mission.
Ah, see, I didn't have to
Yeah,
talk
you
bow.
need the
That's
torp bow.
why. And do you know what? I was researching it after because I went into it firstly with just my standard assault rifle, and I was getting absolutely walloped. And I
Yeah,
then thought, hang on a minute, something's not working here. I'm not even getting like any. I tried to then go to the other side of the boat
get a
of the
turret.
train of the turret, but then I was just getting absolutely killed consistently. So I was like, that's not working. And then they were like saying, oh no, you need if you have grenades. I did see the torpedo, but I just went with grenades and the sniper because basically once you killed that set boss, which is again not really a spoiler, the game that's it.
Yeah,
That's
it's
your
literally
last
it.
bit. But I did find it kind of ironic how like it was a complete breeze to the very end point because I'm thinking if that's what it's like on easy, what the fuck is it like on the hardest difficulty dealing with
There's an
that boss?
achievement or trophy to beat him without going down on hardcore, I think.
Cool.
Yeah,
Which is not that
not.
bad. With a torp bow, it's not that bad. The torp bow is the
Oh,
key.
okay.
Torp bow and frags, and yeah, you might need like a lancer or something to shoot
So
him when
if you
it's when the
don't
krill
have,
are away. You've got to shoot your normal weapons.
yeah, because I had to basically stay in cover a lot of the time when the crew were coming to walls, and then kind of then use like my sniper shot. Um, so you're saying if you didn't have the torpedo though, not so much.
Yeah, it'd be tough. It'd be tougher.
Yeah. I think in the end, though, I mean, it's solid. I really want them to remaster number 2 and 3 because I can't remember. I couldn't remember bits of number 1, but I certainly can't remember bits of 2 and 3. Whether they're going to do that or not is a different thing. But it was a solid remaster. My only gripe is the AI because the AI was just shocking,
Yeah.
and that's me being polite.
No, I get that. The AI, they haven't updated it, which is a decision they've
No,
made. I personally think why not just update it a little bit, make it a little bit better, but
yeah.
whatever.
I don't know if you am I giving this a score because it's a
Can if you want to.
remaster or just. I mean, probably be like a 8 out of 10, and I would drop it 2 because of the AI. But the story is solid. The gameplay is so much fun. Um, and it's sort of one of those games that redefined the modern action shooter, really, or in terms of how it does it in a third person and all the different things. And it was just nice playing a campaign from an adult perspective, because I picked up a lot more than when I played it 14 years ago. Understandably, I quite like that. I quite like remasters of games where I played it as a kid, because as a kid, goes in, goes out. Some of the more mature themes of the game I quite liked as well.
Cool. We've run out of time for Hades 2, but I can just say that I'm having a good time with it, and I'll talk about it more next week when I have more time on it anyway. I think we're only 5 hours in. But yeah, that has been the episode. Andy, before we go, where can people follow you?
So you can find me over on Twitch at Andy_Y_07, and also over on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at either AB Collectibles or AB Collectibles24. And at some point there'll be another giveaway video going up in terms of we've won a giveaway. So stay tuned to see what we've won. Thank you very much.
And Stephen, where can people follow you?
Yeah, just on my TikTok at DJ Bappers. If you want to see my Oasis video, it's on there. The recent analysed Arsenal video as well. So TikTok's popping off at the moment, and on my YouTube channel of the same name as well. Thank you very much.
Thanks again for tuning into the Late Night Gamer podcast. We really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give us a follow, leave a rating, and tell a friend about us. You can follow us on all social medias with the handle at the LNG Pod. Next week, we are back with our Ghost of Yote early review. Very excited for that.
Can't believe you're saying that.
It feels weird that it's actually days away. And by the time this podcast is out, we're playing it, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Until then, I have been your host, Welchy, and my guests have been Andy.
Yeah, thank you as always, guys. It's been a pleasure, and excited to talk about Ghost of Yote and more thoughts on The Last of Us Part 2 next week.
And Stephen.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure as always, and cannot wait to start getting into Ghost of Yote. Very, very excited for that.
Thank you for listening, and keep on gaming.